All right, guys. So we finally had enough happen with the Green Bay Packers salary cap to bring you a salary cap update for the Green Bay Packers. When the Packers released Devondre Campbell, it was a post-June 1st designation, meaning all of that freed up money, or most of it, would then happen after June 1st, which, of course, now we have passed. The Packers have yet to give an extension for Jordan Love or Kenny Clark. We'll slightly touch on both of those subjects in today's video, but the main goal of today's video is to give you guys a full salary cap update for the Green Bay Packers, what their current salary cap is now that they have signed 9 out of the 11 rookies. Only Jordan Morgan and Javon Bullard remain, and we also have an estimation of what they'll cost against the cap, and we'll factor that all in today's video. And if you want more Packers news analysis and updates throughout the entire offseason, you'll find it all here right on this channel. Go down and click subscribe. Highlights, recaps from every single practice for the Green Bay Packers, among other things such as film breakdown and other news. I also wanted to take a quick minute to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Sleeper. And right now on Sleeper, using code BASS, B-A-S, the link is down in the description, you can get a first-time deposit match up to $100. Meaning if you were to use my code BASS and deposit $100, you'd then have $200 to play with. Sleeper is a daily fantasy sports app where you can choose either higher or lower on a specific stat. For example, in the NBA, you can choose points, rebounds, assists, even double-doubles, and you can make your picks between 2 to 8 players and from any sport. Once you make your picks, you can see that you can win up to 100x payouts. Sleeper is a very easy to use and clean app. You can make your picks in less than 30 seconds. So like I said, all the details are down in the description below where you can get a first-time deposit match up to $100 using code BASS, B-A-S. Again, thank you to Sleeper for sponsoring today's video. All right, so without further ado, let's dive right down into this salary cap update. And I want to start by going over Devondre Campbell, who was released with a post-June 1st designation, meaning they kind of had to wait to June 1st to get that money or allow them to use said money. They didn't necessarily need this to extend Jordan Love, so it's not like they were waiting for this money to then extend Jordan Love. Kind of shocked it hasn't happened right now. Obviously, we see all these massive contracts with other positions going around the NFL, such as Justin Jefferson today making $35 million annually. That is insane. Like, he's definitely worth it, but man, that is absolutely insane. Really interested to see what ends up happening with Jordan Love's deal, like how much they actually pay him. But we see here down on the bottom, Devondre Campbell is still going to count $3.6 million against the cap. That's his dead money. But again, they just freed up $9.66 million after June 1st. You can see some of the other players accounting to dead money on the Packers salary cap. David Bakhtiari, $18 million. Excited to see where he potentially signs. Aaron Jones, $12 million. Darnell Savage, $5 million. Rasul Douglas, $5 million. Yosh Nijman, $2.5 million. Keyshawn Nixon, even though he's on the roster, $1.4 million in dead money. And then Matt Orzech, $200,000. So as I said earlier, the Packers have also signed 9 out of 11 rookies from the 2024 draft class. The only 2 rookies to be unsigned to this point, Jordan Morgan and Javon Bullard. And the first rounders and second rounders always take the longest because it's basically a contract negotiation on how much of their contract is going to be guaranteed. The amount's always around the same. It's just how much is going to be guaranteed. Edgerrin Cooper was the most recent draft pick to be signed, and we can look at his cap outlook over the next 4 seasons. Of course, himself being a second-round pick, he doesn't have that 5th-year option, but we see here very, very cheap in terms of, the type of player we're probably going to be getting in Edgerrin Cooper. We see in 2024, he only accounts against the cap $1.5 million. In 2025, $1.9 million. In 2026, $2.3 million. And in 2027, where he's counting the most against the cap, because these are, usually slightly backloaded contracts, $2.7 million. But that's still only 0.9% of the total salary cap when he's his most expensive. Then in the 3rd round, with their first pick in the 3rd round, Marshawn Lloyd also signed his 4-year deal. We could see his cap hits all between $1 to $2 million over the next 4 seasons. So his rookie contract will be up in 2027 when he's 26 years old, and that's where it's its most expensive at $1.8 million. But this year, it's only just over $1 million. The same goes for Tyron Hopper. It's a pretty identical deal, as they were just picked a few picks away in the 3rd round. Hopper, also 26 years old at the end of his rookie deal, also $1.8 million there, and just over $1 million in 2024. Then as you get farther and farther through the draft, these players get cheaper and cheaper. We see Evan Williams here in his first season has a cap hit of under $1 million. And this is why rookie contracts, it's so important to draft well, not only because of what the player will become, but if you get guys that are pro ready and can contribute year 1, year 2, year 3, you've a lot of cheap talent on your team. I mean, look at the Packers wide receiver room. You can add up all the contracts, all 11 of them right now, and it's cheaper than most wide receiver ones around the NFL, which is insane. I remember the stat last year saying, all the starting 6 wide receiver of the Packers, their cap hits collectively were less than Allen Lazard's on the Jets. We see Evan Williams at his most expensive in 2027, still at only $1.39 million. Jacob Monk's deal, again, even lower than Evan Williams. This year, he's only going to account for $870,000 against the salary cap. And this is a guy that potentially could see some significant snaps. If Josh Myers gets hurt or they don't like his play, Jacob Monk right now is center number 2. And we see in 2027, he'll be 26 years old for his last year of his rookie deal at $1.2 million. Then we have Katan Oladapo with a very similar deal, $858,000 this year, and at its most expensive in 2027 at $1.2 million. Travis Glover, $837,000 this year, and 2027, the most expensive at $1.2 million. Then quickly going over the 2 7th-rounders, Michael Pratt going to only count $816,000 against the cap this year, and a lot of these players are going to be, not part of the top 51, which then they don't even count against the salary cap anyways, so likely this won't even be factored into the Packers salary cap space. So again, they're essentially, in terms of what the salary cap entails, almost free. Like, obviously they're paying them this money, but they don't count against the official NFL salary cap if they're not part of the top 51 contracts. And the same thing for Kalen King, just I think $1,000 less this year. Again, they were picked so close together in the 7th round, but you could see how cheap these rookie deals are for 7th rounders. And Kalen King, man, has a super high ceiling. So imagine if this guy, similarly to Carrington Valentine, becomes a starter-worthy cornerback year 2 or even year 1, year 3. Like, look how cheap they are. And this is like the same deal Carrington Valentine has. So, you see how well that can work in your favor to have these young late round rookies, turn into something great. Not only is it great because you didn't spend a high draft pick on them, but they're even cheaper than any other draft pick. So then when you collectively look at the Packers salary cap, their space right now, as we sit right now, is at $30.38 million in cap space. But when you factor in the 2 other rookie deals that need to be signed with Jordan Morgan and Javon Bullard, again, the amounts are pretty much set in stone with a little bit of wiggle room each way. It's just a matter of guarantees. And the estimate for both of those contracts, what they'll count against the salary cap, is $1.97 million. So if you were to then subtract $1.97 million from that $30.38 million, you're left with $28.41 million in cap space. Which then, if you look at around the NFL, right now the Packers are 7th most cap space, and they remain 7th even when you factor in the 2 more rookies there. So the Packers actually have a ton of cap room right now. And of course, this is going to change when they extend Jordan Love, when they extend Kenny Clark. Now, the Packers could lower Kenny Clark's cap hit this season. We see it's all the way up there at $27 million, but why? We have the cap space right now. So it's like, why push more money out to the future? Set yourself up better for the future rather than what we were doing, in the past with Rodgers' deal and David Bakhtiari and all the other void years where we're kind of paying some of that now because we can. Why not set yourself up better for the future when you have the money right now to kind of just pay that, right? You'll just take the cap hit right now with Kenny Clark. Yeah, sure, give him the extension, but he still due a lot of money on top of whatever the extension you're going to give him. And then, of course, there's Jordan Love. What and when will that entail? Right now, his cap hit, $12 million. That's nothing for a quarterback of his caliber in today's NFL. They could extend him and keep this number down, but considering they have the money, you might as well, put some of that money in 2024 because you have it, right? His cap hit, in my opinion, after an extension for this season will raise from $12 million to around $22 million. Because I believe the Packers will obviously pay Jordan Love a signing bonus, maybe anywhere between $60 to $80 million, which then some of that has to be, attributed onto 2024. They'll probably lower his base salary, this $10.5 million, to the minimum to then kind of replace that with the bonus, which gets prorated over the length of the contract. So, this very well could be done for less than $10 million in 2024, a Jordan Love extension, which I see coming very, very soon. I'm hoping it happens before training camp. If we're waiting all the way till training camp and it still hasn't happened, there's probably a little bit of worry there, but I'm hoping it gets done before. So overall, the Packers have just over $28 million in effective cap space right now. So if they wanted to go out and sign a couple veteran free agents to kind of fill out the roster, they 100% could. But a lot of this money is going to be used for the two most important extensions that are up right now for the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love and Kenny Clark. And I 100% believe they should extend both of them. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure everyone wants them to extend Jordan Love. I'm sure there's a few that don't like the amount of money he'll get, but that's today's NFL. But more so, do you believe they should extend Kenny Clark? Let me know down in the comments below. But I appreciate you guys coming by to the video. Just wanted to update you with the official salary cap number for the Green Bay Packers because it's been a while since we've done an update, and I kind of wanted to wait for all the rookies to get signed, but we have a pretty certain estimate for the last two that are going to get signed and what that's going to do to the salary cap. And, with everything about to happen with two potential extensions, I kind of wanted to get an update out here before that. But I appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.